Well, hi, this is Scott Wedford. Welcome back to the A4J podcast, a podcast for students by students. I got two girls with me today. So who are these girls I got with me?
I'm Abby. I'm Andrea.
Abby and Andrea, the two A's. And these are A-plus girls. So today we're going to talk about, I think, a pretty important topic. What do you do when your parents lose their minds? Now, both of y'all, what, 16?
Yeah, 18.
18?
Yeah,
Good gracious, you're an old girl. 18. So have your parents ever just like freaked out and lost it, and you're like, what the heck's going on with all that?
For sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, tell me about that. What causes them to kind of like snap? Now, I've had a teenage daughter, so I got a little experience with this, but...
I think sometimes parents get, like, stressed, and they think more about, like, they're trying to control your life sometimes. I love my parents. I have great
parents. Your parents are amazing. Yes.
I have amazing parents. But I think sometimes they get overwhelmed and stressed and feel like they didn't do everything right sometimes, so they try to overcompensate. Mm-hmm.
That's really insightful, because I as a parent, I think that too. Said, am I doing the right thing? How did Andrew, how did they overreact? What do they do?
I feel like sometimes they might not be like mad at you, but they've just have like a bad day, and so they take it out on you if you like do something wrong,
silly,
getting mad at you or
Do you think? Well, that's really insightful. Are there tips you could give some tips about how can your parents, when they've got like a bug in their ear or somebody else is yapping on them, what can you do to kind of diffuse that? Do you have any ideas about that? Or you just walk away from them? What do you do? Just give them space. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes just like hearing them out and listening to them rather than trying to argue back with them is sometimes good.
Oh, that's a really good. Now, remember that when you get married. And if you're a guy listening to this, girls do not want you to fix their problems, right? They just want to be heard. Hear them out. So she was saying what she really needs. Hear me out. So that's good. So what are some of the things they lose their minds about legitimately? Like they went, whoa, 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 legitimately.
When they I think a lot of the times, my parents sometimes lose their minds about me doing things, going places. They're like, hold on, who said you could do that? And you said you could go where? I think sometimes they're like, whoa, wait a minute, you want to do this? And sometimes, I don't when I think about I want to go to this person's house, my parents are like, well, I don't know those people. I don't know what's going to be there. And it's all in best interest when they.
But that's really hard, isn't it? Because you really feel controlled.
Right.
Yeah. And, on your parents' defense, they often, through experience, see things you don't see, but it's hard for you to see that. Do they ever freak out about Schrader Hall?
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah. I
mean, I've been twice.
Of course you
have. They
have.
don't freak out that bad.
Yeah. Back in the day, Sun Valley, which is now where, Glen Dry has his church, that was a nasty spot. And I prayed every day I drove by that it would close. And when it closed and it became a church building, that was pretty yes, Jesus, it's good. Got to get rid of evil Sun Valley. But really, it's not the place that makes it evil. It's just the intent, right? Mm-hmm. So, all right, your parents set boundaries, and sometimes you're growing, you're getting mature, you want to be trusted, and when they say no, you kind of feel diminished, and you go what is going on? How do you kind of help them with the whole trust factor? How do you kind of encourage them to trust you more?
I feel like...
That's a tough question, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Just try to see it from where they're coming from, so you can explain it better to them, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of sense. If they, say you want to go somewhere with a friend and, they let you go, but just don't break that trust that they've given you. Yeah. And then don't break next time.
Yeah.
Because
don't say you're going to do this and then you do that. What about this? What about this rule? And this may be crazy. What if you had a rule that said no secrets, no worries? Ooh.
No secrets, no worries.
You really don't want your parents to know everything, do you?
No, because then it feels like there's no privacy in your
so,
life. It feels like my life is their life.
Yeah, and you want to be independent from it. Okay, let me tell you this. Let me see what you think about this. Okay, so you two guys, you two gals are growing up. You're moving towards independence. Sometimes do you think you're growing up too fast and they're freaking out because you're growing up too fast? Mm-hmm. And they're going, oh, I want them to stay a little longer and so they could be home and I could tuck them in. And I don't want... Do you ever think they're safe like that?
Yes.
That's hard, though. Mm-hmm. And what's going to happen?
Right.
In 12 years, 15 years, 20 years from now, it's going to be you thinking those same things.
Right.
So remember this when your kids get to be teenagers, that it's just hard. You got to let them go, but you need to watch them.
Right.
Does that kind of make you feel weird that your parents need to watch you?
Just a little bit. That I know that my parents are always like paying a lot of attention.
Absolutely. And well, okay, there's two things you girls need to realize. And this, I'm not a girl, obviously. I identify as an old preacher. But that because you are girls, and because sometimes this world is not safe for girls, it makes dads really freak out. And so we watch you guys closer than we probably do our sons, which is not fair, but that's the way it goes. But what I found that with girls, at least with my daughter, she'd be more honest with me than my son would. But she'd want to talk to me. Okay, so I'm going to ask a real personal question. All right. Who is more controlling in your family? Is it your mom or your dad?
My mom.
Your mom?
For my dad.
Your dad. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever asked them why?
No, not really. I feel like both of my parents are decently controlling.
Within reason.
But I think they both have I think they're both actually pretty equally controlling. I just think my mom stresses about more things than my dad does. So she's more likely to.
Yeah. Well, she that's just your mom. Now, I've known your parents before you were born. Mm-hmm. So I've known them a long time. They're pretty awesome. And they love you a whole bunch. Mm-hmm. And I don't know your parents as well, but I think I maybe have some influence, maybe a dedication or something with you. Yeah, back in the day. Yeah. So I've known you guys pretty much all your lives. And so here you are at this point. Maybe the conversation you should have with your parents is, help me understand how you're feeling. What do you think about that?
It's probably a good idea.
You think that would be good advice to give our listeners? So when your parents lose their mind, instead of going, maybe you should say, wow, Mom, help me understand how you're feeling right now. Mm-hmm. Of course, that's going to blow them away. They won't know how to act. Yeah. So in a perfect world, do you like your parents loving you and paying attention to you, or would you rather be just left alone?
Probably loving me and paying attention to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think loving me and paying attention to me, but where I still have my own privacy as well.
Yeah, because you're 18. Mm-hmm. You're considered an adult. In fact, in some countries, you'd be married with 8 children by now. So that's scary. And probably inappropriate. Yeah, but well, anything else you want to give, like words of wisdom? When your parents lose their mind, you should what?
Just remember that, they have a reason that they're maybe freaking out in a second. Don't, lash back at them. Don't also freak out.
Yeah, don't escalate. Yeah.
Don't escalate it. Just let them have their little moment and try to see it from their perspective.
Mm-hmm. And maybe don't lie to them.
Yeah.
Don't be sneaky and slimy and sneaking around and doing all that kind of stuff. Be transparent, be honest, and then say, hey, Mom, help me understand what's going on. I had a conversation recently, somebody your age, and they were talking about their parents freaking out. I said, you know what? I understand how they feel because they're about to lose you. You're about to leave. And that just, for a dad, it's like, oh. And then when you do leave, it's like, oh. But it's hard. And, I would take both of my kids back to live with me tomorrow. Now, their mother wouldn't, but I would. But that's just because that's me. You girls have been great. Have y'all had fun?
Yes.
All for Jesus, A4J podcast by students for students, and I hope this helps. Hey, will y'all come back and talk with me again?
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about next time?
I don't know.
Maybe we can talk about the flat earth theory. Have y'all heard about that? Well, probably not.
No.
Okay, so we're going to start off now. Hope this helps. Thank you for watching, and hit the comment button, hit the like button, and share this with your buddies. So thanks, girls.